2023 Carderock Half Marathon. This is a DC local one, and on the Maryland side, this is the half marathon version for the 2023 event. A couple of quick notes before we dive into the race profile. Race start time for the half is 8 a.m. You are going to have 10K and 5Kers start 15-30 minutes after, so if you are doing the half, expect some faster runners to be coming up on you later in your race. And that's pretty much it for the information beforehand. So packet pickup is going to be available at the event. They recommend arriving an hour before your event. So if you're doing the half, that means you should arrive at 7 a.m. at the latest. And that way you can get everything rocking and rolling and get set up. Water stations are going to be on the half marathon course at mile 1.5, 2.7, 4.953, 6:15, 6:95, 7:8, 8:2, 8:14, and 11:55. Okay, so that means there's going to be a lot of water available to you if you are an athlete that is doing other events besides this one over the course of your 2023 season. I suggest you try to stick with some of the nutritional habits as best you can. Taking your gels, taking your goos, taking your, if you are running with a handheld, maybe you put in your race nutrition in there and actually just fill up with the water at those water stations so you are getting some calories and you can practice some of those race fueling strategies as you go. So restrooms are located by the main parking lot. Weather policy, they say it's going to go pretty much all the time. And that is pretty much it. So if we dig in a little bit further, we can see this half marathon route right through here. If we make it big, it does nothing. So we're going to do this as best we can on this. So you can see here, it is a point. We go back all the way down, turn around, and then we go back again. You can see the point where my cursor is right now. That is the turnaround location right there. And the course mirrors itself. What you will see in the first half is going to be a little opposite of the second half. So in that first half, you are going to have a net downhill. In the first couple of miles, you are going to have some key hills that you do need to worry about right through there. And after that, it is pretty smooth sailing. So for the most part, during this portion of the course, which is a lot, okay, you are going to be able to run your pace. You are going to be able to run your race from mile 3.6 pretty much until 9.7-ish. That is going to be your pace right there. Afterwards, or beforehand, let's back it up a little bit. We are going to start out a little bit more aggressive, just because of the natural circumstances for the race. You can see that the profile does actually scoot down right through there, and then you do pop up right afterwards. If you look at the elevation profile, these are going to be a little stingy hills, but they're not going to be anything major to write home about. The other area that you do need to worry about is this little incline right through there. It is a steady one. It's not super aggressive like you are going to see in this first mile or so right through there. So first mile, use the downhill portion right through here to allow you to go down fast, okay? Afterwards, just get up this next hill. You don't want to really attack this hill just yet. You want to save your energy for later in the race for sure, because this is going to be an event that will make or break you later on. Okay. Afterwards, we talked about it again, rolling down hills. Your pace is going to naturally be high, but do not force the natural high pace, okay? Afterwards, steady uphill through this section right here. Take it a little easier, but just get up it. And then after that, when you are in this section of the race, it is, and I would argue even back all the way up to here, this is kind of an ideal situation to have a PR or to kind of figure out what your pacing is going to be for a half marathon or a marathon in here. Practice your running strategies for your longer races right through there, and it will pay off big time as you go. Remember, they are going to have water stations scattered around a lot of different places in here. Make sure you are using them. Even if it's a hot day and you're doing nothing else but cooling yourself off, absolutely do that. Make sure you're bringing your fueling strategies that you are planning to race with at your other key events. This is going to be a great one to practice those and really nail those down and figure out what's going right or what is going wrong, and then working it backwards and figuring that out for your A race right through here. Now, after we get into this last section right through here, you'll notice we are coming up on an uphill, and then there's a steady downhill. So this is going to be a little unique here. So if you are going to be chasing podium spots and you're in the mix of things at this point in the race, I actually want you to attack the downhill portion right here. We're going to attack the downhill, and we're going to keep the pace on for the remainder of this race. So if we go back and we dig in at mile 10.2, right? If you are in the hunt, this is probably an ideal springboarding location on this race course to really attack and put some separation between others. Most people are going to do that on this final hill right here. So if you can do that on this uphill, which is right through here, and I will change the screen for you. So option number one that everyone is probably thinking about is down here. Option number two to attack is probably more ideal right through there. And then the last real place to attack is right there if you are ending up with a group of people at about mile 9.5 and beyond. If you are going to be running your own race, then this big section in the middle is going to be where you're going to be getting the bread and butter out of this race right here. Okay? Attack it, pace it well, and see what happens later on. And this final hill right here is going to be just a ramp up, kick up, one last push towards the finish line if you want to view it like that. So that is this race pretty much in a nutshell. It's not too much to think about, not too much to write home about. The second half is going to be a little harder than the first half because you do have that natural rolling uphill right through there. But again, don't overthink this one and use your pacing strategies that you have already used up until this point in the season and your fueling strategies as well. And you should come out okay unless something happens in this first half of the race, i.e. An error in pacing or chasing someone you shouldn't, fueling errors, those kind of things. So one last quick tip, make sure you are practicing your pre-race nutrition during this event. Again, because of the nature of this course, it is a perfect race course simulation for most events out there.